Hi there folks, welcome to Dunsy's Guitar World. In this exciting episode we'll be talking about this guitar. The guitar you've just heard. It is my 1985 GRANDY Les Paul Custom. So, in the unboxing video you will have seen, there was a crack in the neck. Have I done anything to it? Well, I haven't done anything at all. It's up to pitch, it's in concert pitch. And here's what the crack looks like. I'll get some photographs as well because my camera doesn't seem to like to focus on that crack. So I will put some still pictures in. So it's up to tension. Touch wood, touch basswood, I think this is. Touch wood, it seems to be okay. Seems to be holding that intro tune. The whole thing was played on this guitar. Some good sounds, I think you'll agree. So there it is. It's a fine looking guitar. No major dents or dings on it, no. There's not a scrape on it, to be honest, which for a guitar made in 1985, given that it's 2022, pretty good, pretty decent. So I took all the stuff off, had a look at the routes, had a look at the pickups, and I did a bit of filming. So let's have a look and let's discuss what was found underneath the hood, as they say. So after I took all the hardware off, I had a quick look underneath. It is indeed made in Japan. There's a headstock, the truss rod's in good condition. You can see fret end binding there. The fingerboard's really nice. I mean, I think it's rosewood, it's not ebony or anything like that. But it's certainly in very good shape. Frets are in good shape as well. Close up of the fret end binding and the headstock, truss rod cover removed. Now the pickups have no markings on them at all. Just blank. So here's the pickup routes. Now it looks like the body's been routed for like a medium tenon sort of thing, but the neck itself doesn't have one of them now. There's that bit of wood right in the middle of the pickup cavity, which I've seen in other Tokais. There's a close-up of the tenon and the neck cavity. No name pickup. Now here's the control cavity on the back. Looks like it's got like a plastic sheet underneath right at the bottom. Then it always looks all original anyway. $500k pots. There's a badge 55. Made in Japan tuners. And a quick look at the crack that's on there. There's a serial number, begins with 50335585 and badged as a 55. That's the guitar once it's all strung up. Plenty of life left in the frets as well. So here's the pickup measurements. This is direct at the input jack. So the bridge 10.62 and the neck is 10.04. There's the neck profile, so kinda in between 50s and 60s Gibson, I would say. The nut measurement is 43.4mm. The depth at the first fret is 23.14mm. The neck width at the 12th fret 52.03mm. And the neck depth at the 12th fret 25.19mm. And it weighs exactly 4 kilograms. There you go. Now, I did a bit of research on this before I bought it. You know, I saw it in the auction and I thought, Grandy, I've never heard of that. So I did a few internet searches and there's not a lot of information about them. So let's look at what I could find on the internet, on the information superhighway about the Grandy guitars. So this one is for sale in Australia, Mojo Stomp Boxes. 1985 Grandy by Tokai. Japan Love Rock GLS 65. Now that's a nice guitar. Nice top on that. Nearly £900. So what do they say here? Grande guitars were made by the Tokai factory in the mid-1980s and are shrouded in mystery. Likely ordered by a store/company within Japan to sell as their own Gibson-style guitars. You're bound to be stoked with the super rare 1980s Tokai Love Rock Les Paul. So this has a two-piece maple top, match veneer mahogany body and neck with a rosewood fingerboard. So that's the first one. Second one, this is the Tokai Forum, a subsidiary of TokaiRegistry.com. Tokai Grande Les Paul. Has anyone ever seen or heard of this before? Now, going through the posts here, here's one here. Yeah, Tokai built Grande, most likely. I believe Tokai made them for Grande when Tokai went bust in the mid-1980s. Tokai Love Rock 1985. The body was made from NATO ash softwood. Tokai built Grande Custom from 1985. Black Custom. I'm not sure if that's a sort of medium tenon, but it's got the same bit of wood in the neck cavity which mine has. Same sort of humbuckers, no markings on them. Split diamond headstock. 1985 serial number. All the same. That's the second one. Found this on Flickr. Is that how you pronounce it? 55 with a 5 in the front. Serial number 1985. And it's just noted as a Grande Les Paul Custom. Same sort of innards as mine has. This one is on Frankie's site. Very great resource, this. Vintage guitars. 1985 Grande Tokai Love Rock. Made in 1985 by Tokai. This rare bird is a true Love Rock with a difference. Now this is a very high grade guitar. Graded as a 80. Solid flame top. Yeah, that's pretty high end. Which at the time was only a catalogue feature of the top of the line TLS 200. Now here's what they're saying here. The Grande brand was made by Tokai during 1985 only. Tokai was on the verge of bankruptcy, Dunsy, bankruptcy, and could not produce guitars under their own name during the company reconstruction. They are usually found in the entry grades, so an LS80 is rare. LS80 with a solid top is unheard of. Probably agree with that. If and when they surface, it's mostly the LC55, which appears to be mine, which has a basswood body, and the SG60. Though it's important to note that the info is not 100% verified. There is also a theory, the theory that Grande was an export brand used by Tokai or made by them for a distributor, as they have only shown up in Japan. So they could be a limited shop order. So here's a 1985 Grande Les Paul Custom on Reverb. Oh, sold £830. 1985 Grande Tokai Les Paul Custom Black. Fret edge binding, hard shell case, ultra rare! Exclamation mark. What did they say here? This is an ultra rare guitar which was made by Tokai in Japan. It's very rare to find Tokai Les Paul Customs with the split diamond headstock logo. Indeed it is, and we'll discuss that in detail in a bit. In my years of collecting, I have only ever had one. You can see from the pickup route and the serial number that is indeed a Tokai made guitar. Everything is original on this guitar except for the strap buttons. So that's that black Tokai Grande Tokai Les Paul Custom. Now here is the Tokai brochure from 1985. So in this one the customs are the TLC. Now if I zoom in a bit, a TLC 60 in white. Now as that last post said, the last post, it's like a song, there's no proper split diamond. It's like the Tokai ones that they did. See if I can find one with the Tokai logo on it. This is a Tokai TLC 60 black 1985. Now that was on Reverb as well. Now let's look at how Tokai do the split diamond. So yeah, it's different, eh? So the Grande one appears to be more like the proper Gibson one. This guitar looks like it has fret end binding. I think it does. So that is a proper Tokai TLC 60 from 1985. And finally, here's another one. This is a TLC 60 from 1985 in Alpine White. There you can see the Tokai logo and the normal Tokai split diamond. So everything I've found so far says that these Grandy guitars were only made in 1985. Apart from this one thread on mylespaul.com from, this was 2018. Someone had a TLC 60 with an inlay and the neck is slim, totally rocks. But they had a 1990 Grandy with that inlay too. So that's the only thing I can find on the entire internet which says anything other than these Grandy guitars were made in 1985. Strange, eh? So if anybody knows the exact history of these guitars, the Grandy guitars, as made by Tokai, please do let me know. It's very strange. Just seemed to be made for 1 year, apart from that one post. The only post I could find on the whole internet which said it was made in a year other than 1985. Someone said they have one from 1990. Were they mistaken? I don't know. Maybe they have, but it would be strange. Now, white Les Pauls look cool. Very classy. There's not a huge amount of people have been rocking them compared to, say, black Les Paul Customs or Bursts or something like that. So let's have a look at a few players. I think you really have to own these, you know. If you're walking on stage with something like this, you have to be prepared to own it. So let's look at some players who owned it. First one that springs to mind, well, there's two that spring to mind for me, Steve Jones and Randy Rhoads. Let's look at some Steve Jones and his white Les Paul picks. And some of the Randy Rhoads, 1974, I think Randy's was. Steve's 74, 73. Here's Sylvain with a very similar looking guitar to Steve Jones's. Who else played them? The Edge. The Edge, of course, played a white Les Paul Custom. Lindsey Buckingham, white Les Paul Custom. James Dean Bradfield from the Manic Street Preachers. Welsh Legends, the Manic Street Preachers. He played a white Les Paul. Who else? Justin Hawkins from The Darkness. He's got his own YouTube channel, it's very entertaining. Mr. Justin Hawkins. Steve Clark, the late Steve Clark from Def Leppard. He's had 3 pickups. It's like a custom. Who else? Now, a few players from the modern era. I say modern era, but I mean 1980s hair metal, of course. Brent Muscat from Faster Pussycat, white Les Paul Custom player. And we have Danny West from Vain. I love Vain. I've made a few Vain videos. I mean, one of my favourite bands, that first Vain album, a classic. Tommy Kiefer from Cinderella. I've seen him playing a white Les Paul Custom. And who else? Buckethead. I suppose that counts as a Les Paul Custom, but it's like a really long one. It's like a baritone guitar. If you can think of any other famous players of the white Les Paul Custom, because I will have missed some, guaranteed, please do let me know in the comments. So there you have it. A 100% original, made in Japan, Grandy Les Paul Custom from 1985. Effectively a Tokai love rock, I think, as far as I can tell. As I've said before, if you have any other details on this kind of guitar, this type of guitar, this model of guitar, please do let me know in the comments. I'd like to clear this mystery up. So the end tune, the first one I did in the intro was more kind of classic rock. So what I did was, when I had the guitar detuned, it was down to drop D. I decided to record something a bit heavier. Again, all the sounds were recorded on this. A wee bit clean as well. All recorded on this guitar. Let me know what you think, folks. As ever, it's a privilege and a pleasure bringing you content on Dunsy's Guitar World. Cheers for now.